Greetings friends, Mr. Koga here, and we're talking about landforms and waterforms. So we're going to be making our landform craftivity, and we're also going to be doing a little bit of writing today. So for the landforms and waterforms, the first ones we're going to look at are mountains and valleys. Let's check out a couple of examples. So we have mountains such as these. Wow. And mountains are very tall land formations. Not my glue. Land formations where they rise up very tall from the rest of the Earth's surface that's around them. They're taller than 1,000 feet, and that's kind of what differentiates or separates a hill from a mountain. So hills are smaller, mountains are much taller, and typically usually steeper. Here we have a Matterhorn, a beautiful, lovely mountain range, and a little bit more local. This you have probably recognized if you looked outside of our school and looked towards the mountain area. This is the Topa Topa mountain range, and this specifically is the Topa Topa Bluff. It's known for its beautiful sunset colors, and they call this the Pink Moment Mountains. And here's another view of the Topa Topa Mountains when it's beautiful and snowy in winter. And this is actually a view from Oxnard, from the farmlands in Oxnard. So it's actually a really cool view because you can see exactly from our point of view what the mountains look like. All right, so the second thing we're also going to look at is valleys, because with mountains and valleys, they're deeply interconnected. So here's some examples of some valleys. Now, a valley is where two mountains create a low area in between. So you see there's a mountain here and a mountain here, and it's kind of cool because valley starts with a V, and valleys create a V shape. So that's one easy way to remember what valleys are. Here's some other examples. Now, we notice also, it looks like there are many times a river running through valleys, because rivers typically cut valleys and create these landforms. And that's what we're going to study next, is how do these landforms get created. Here's a beautiful valley in Hawaii. This one is, I believe, on Oahu, the Ko'olau Valley. Oh, beautiful. In Europe. In India, the Valley of Flowers. This valley is very famous for just having wildflowers bloom all throughout it. And then, again, more local. This is the Santa Clara River Valley. This is the Santa Clara River right here, and it's the one that's directly behind our school. How exciting. All right, let's get into the craft. What you'll need today is 2 blue pieces of construction paper, 2 small ones, and then 1 green. So we are going to draw a mountain, and we want to draw the mountain with 1 peak right in the middle. So you're going to draw your mountain like this. Go up. You could do a little a little smaller peak, but then make it come all the way up, almost to the top middle of your paper right here, and then come back down. Just do another little peak like that. So you have a beautiful mountain here, just like that. And check this out, it's pretty cool because I'm gonna cut out my mountain. And again, mountains are steep land formations. They're formed in all sorts of ways. A lot of times tectonic plates, earthquakes can cause them, even volcanoes can create mountains, just like where Mr. Cope is from. All right, so you have your mountain, and check it out, there's the pencil marks on this side. So this is where I'm gonna put the glue. All right, where did my glue stick roll off to? Got it over here. All right, so for the gluing, you want to make sure, go all the way around the entire area where you want to glue. If you don't go put glue here at the ends, at the edges and the tips, your paper will fly off and start folding up at the corners. Do it correctly. So then we glue the mountain onto our blue piece of paper, and check it out. Wow. So there's our mountain, okay? Now I'm gonna glue the mountain paper. Again, going to all 4 corners. Lots of glue so I can actually see it. And then even glue right in the middle, because I want my book to last. I want this to not fall apart on me. I'm gonna press it down a little bit. Perfect. Okay, but check out the valley side. You remember that piece of paper that we cut out? That was the top of the mountain, right here? Well, look what happens when I flip it upside down. Oh, it creates a valley right there. So these are 2 mountains coming together, and a low point in between the 2 mountains is a valley. But again, I'm gonna put my glue on the side. Whenever there's like this stuff happening, I like to kind of scrub it off like that, and then smear it around. You really gotta just get, just get a feel of this glue stick stuff. getting on my paper a little bit, but that's okay. All right, so flipping it over, placing it down on my blue paper, pressing it down gently, yet firmly, and then I got my valley. Okay, so we're gonna glue this down again. And again, go all four corners, then put an X in the middle, write your name in the middle if you want, and glue, who cares, but just make sure that paper doesn't come off. And then, check it out, you got your mountain and your valley. And what was cool here is that we used one green piece of paper to create both landforms. And what that is called is sort of like a positive and negative space activity, where you have the positive space mountain and then the negative space of this gap that creates the actual valley formation. That's a little art lesson for you guys. Okay, so good luck. On the next slide, you will see all the writing that we're gonna do here. So you're just gonna write the definition of what a mountain is, and then we're gonna give an example in California. Because when we make those connections to local things in California, we connect our landforms and our science and our social studies to local things, then the learning becomes so much more rich and it makes sense. Okay guys, good luck and follow directions.